What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing our preview for Week 11 of the 2020 NFL season. So this week there's some pretty good matchups. Actually, I'm looking forward to quite a few games this week, so let's just get right into it. So getting into the early games, first starting off with the Philadelphia Eagles at the Cleveland Browns. I think the Browns are going to win this one. The Eagles are not a very impressive team, especially outside of their division, so I just think the Browns are going to fairly easily win this one here. It's going to heat up the AFC North quite a bit if they do. I'm very interested to see how the Browns are going to turn out the rest of the season. I'm really intrigued to see if they'll be able to make playoffs or not, because if there's a division with 3 teams in the playoffs, it's probably going to be the AFC North. So that's going to be an interesting one to look into for the rest of the season. And so, yeah, I think the Browns are definitely going to win that one there. So the next game is the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. And so now we know that Drew Brees suffered some rib fractures and a collapsed lung last week. So that means that they named Taysom Hill the starter over Jameis Winston. I say if Hill doesn't do good in the first half, he'll get traded out, at the half. I mean, I could be wrong. They could just stick with him. I still think it's a bad call overall. Why would you not start Jameis Winston? I mean, the man threw for 5,000 yards last season. I know he also threw 30 interceptions, like 32 touchdowns. But the thing is he's had eye surgery and knee surgery since then. I think he's just going to be a much better player because of both of those things. And he was already throwing. He's one of only a few players to throw for 5,000 yards in a season. So I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't start him. And he has an infinitely better arm than Taysom Hill. He's got more experience and he's younger. I don't know why you wouldn't want to start him. But I don't run the team. They're going to do what they feel is right. But I just don't think that that's the right call there. But in the end, I think the Saints are going to win regardless. The Falcons are not a good team, so I just think the Saints are going to win. But I still stand by the fact that Jameis Winston should be the starter and not Taysom Hill. So we'll have to see how long that lasts. So the next game is the Bengals at Washington Football Team. This one is not too impressive. Both teams aren't great, but I think the Bengals have more promise, and I think they're going to take the win over Football Team there. Football Team, their only 2 wins come from inside their division, so, they're kind of winless because division wins are you never know who's going to win a division game, so it's interesting. They haven't won any other games other than those, so I just think the Bengals are just a better team overall, so I have the Bengals winning there. So the next game is the Detroit Lions at the Carolina Panthers. This one's a little unimpressive. I think Carolina's going to probably mow through them. Detroit's not the worst team, but they're definitely not good. I think they're middle of the pack at best this year. I pray for Lions fans. I hope they'll be good sometime soon for their sake. They're stuck with a terrible franchise, but they're just not there this year, and I think the Panthers have more of a chance of going on a crazy run for the playoffs last minute than they do for sure. So I have the Panthers winning there. The next game is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I say this with bias aside. I think the Steelers are easily going to win this one. Could be a little bit of a trap game, but our last trap game was Dallas, and we won. We beat the Bengals very soundly last week, more so than most people thought. People thought it was going to be close because it was seen as a trap game. Didn't turn out that way. I'm more sold on this team than I was at any other point in the season. We mowed through a team after, what we should be feeling fatigue at this point, but we're not, and we mowed through another division opponent. If we manage to beat the Ravens on Thanksgiving next week, it's going to be real crazy. I could potentially see us going 16-0. Is that a good thing? Historically, no. There's only one fully undefeated team. The rest have lost. But it's going to be interesting. I'm very, very concerned about having to play the Chiefs in the playoffs. If we do, I really want that bye if we can get it. Who knows how the seedings are going to end up turning out, but if we have to play the Chiefs in anything other than the AFC Championship, maybe we won't make a Super Bowl push this year. It's going to be hard to see. I don't know what teams in the AFC can and can't beat us yet because we haven't played them. So I think the Ravens game and the Bills game are going to be the biggest judges of how good we really are against top teams. We'll just have to see. But I think Jacksonville's not a hard opponent. They have 1 win, and that's it. It's not nothing special about the Jaguars, honestly. I know Jake Luton's looked pretty good so far. This is his 3rd start. He almost beat the Packers last week, almost knocked them off in an upset. Didn't happen, but he gets another chance against the Steelers here. Not ideal to have to play our defense in a second chance, but you know what? This is how it turned out, and so I have the Steelers winning that one there. The next game is the Titans at the Ravens. This is a big AFC matchup here. Two teams that a lot of people thought would be definitely leading their respective divisions, but they're both in second place, I believe. I believe the Colts are leading the AFC South. Almost got the divisions mixed up there. But, the Titans are a good team. They're just on the downslope as of late. I don't think that they're a top AFC team like a lot of people think they are. Do I think they'll make playoffs? Probably. I don't think it's that far-fetched to say that they're going to make playoffs, but I think it's a little crazier to say that they're going to miss playoffs than it is that they're going to make them. But I definitely have the Ravens beating them here. So the next game is the New England Patriots at the Houston Texans. This game in a normal year would be very interesting, but both teams just aren't good this year. The Texans are just not good, and I mean, at least the Patriots are on a bit of an upslope, so I'm going to go with the Patriots here. Not too much else to say about it personally. The Texans are just not very good this year, even though I thought they would be. Here we are. The Texans they're making the worst business decisions. It feels like they don't have their own future in mind when making them. And hopefully with Bill O'Brien being out of there, that will fix things. But who knows? But I do have the Patriots taking the win over the Texans here. So the next game is the Miami Dolphins at the Denver Broncos, and I have the Dolphins winning this one. The Broncos are not a great team. They're okay. I think maybe lower half of the league, not quite middle, probably lower. Lower to middle is probably where I'd rank them. But the Dolphins are on a 3-game win streak. Tua's 3-0 as a starter, so I have Tua taking the dub here. The Broncos defense is all right, but it's nothing special without Von Miller. So I have the Dolphins winning here. This next game is the New York Jets at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are going to win. Enough said. Next game is the Green Bay Packers at the Indianapolis Colts, and this is a game I'm actually really excited for. These are two teams that are really good. The Colts have arguably the best defense in the league. The Packers are a really good team. They're probably the best team in the NFC. They did lose a couple of games, but it's not that big of a deal. They're still 7-2. In the end, I think that the Colts are going to pull off a little bit of an upset here. I know they're a good team, but it's still considered an upset to beat the best team in the NFC. So I think the Colts are going to shock us a little bit here and beat them. Aaron Rodgers is doing great this year, but I don't know if he'll be this good against that defense. We'll just have to see. But I have the Colts winning here. So the next game is the Dallas Cowboys at the Minnesota Vikings. This game is another game that, could and honestly should be a good game on paper considering who's on each roster, but both teams are underperforming. I definitely have Minnesota winning here, even though Dallas will have Andy Dalton back. It's still not too much of an upgrade over Garrett Gilbert. I think he's who started last week. I have no idea. I didn't watch their game last week, or if I honestly can't even remember if they had one. It might have been on a bye week. But Garrett Gilbert was who they had against the Steelers, and he did not carry them to a win. So I have the Vikings winning here. Not too much else to say about that one. And so the Sunday night game is a game I'm personally really excited for. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at the Las Vegas Raiders. And so the Chiefs' only loss this season came from the Raiders in Kansas City, which was considered a huge upset. If the Raiders sweep the Chiefs in the division, I am entirely sold on them to go on a playoff run, maybe even a deep playoff run. You never know, they could shock us this year. I'm a big fan of the Raiders offense with Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs and Derek Carr being much better than most people think he is. I've thought he's underrated for a long time. But, the Raiders are a good team, and I find it interesting that of the Chiefs games they won, it was the one on the road. So we'll have to see how this one turns out. But I think I'm going to go with the safe bet here and go with the Chiefs winning. I think the split's going to go not the way people would have thought if you said they were going to split. But, maybe Vegas pulls off a win at home here, but I personally am going to take the Chiefs with this one. So now the last game of the week is the Monday night game, and it's between the LA Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a game, it's fairly evenly matched. I believe they're both 6-3. So my bad, the Buccaneers are actually 7-3, but so that means they haven't had their bye week yet, and they're on a pretty good stretch. Antonio Brown still hasn't made that big of an impact on the team. He's been okay. He was okay in the last game, but he hasn't been, a game changer. Like, I don't know why a lot of people thought he would be, considering they had the best receiving duo already. But maybe he'll make himself known. But honestly, against the Rams secondary, I don't see it happening. I think they'll probably go with the ground game, and I do think the Buccaneers are going to win this game here. I don't think the Rams are going to win their division. I think they'll probably be third place. There's nothing wrong with that. They're on a good, streak right here. They did beat the Seahawks, but I just don't think they're going to beat the Buccaneers here because they exploit defenses, and I know the Rams have a good defense, and their secondary is probably the best in the league. But the thing is that, they have Ronald Jones, who's been on fire, running the ball. So I think they're just going to go lean on the running attack in this game. And so that's going to do it for the games this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell icon because I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos in the coming weeks because I'm on Thanksgiving break, so I'm going to have some more time to work on some projects. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.